Hey, everybody. It's Noise Neighbors Podcast. It is me, Joey McHugh, and joined as always by Mark Mulvaney. All right, Mulv.
Come on, City. Get in.
Oh, God.
I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night.
Woo! Come on. Oh, I'm having that, mate.
As the kids say, sheesh.
Sheesh. Let me up. Ridiculous. Nobody clip that. Don't clip that and put that on any social media. That is nonsense. What are they doing? Ice in the veins, innit?
Yeah, for sure. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Man, we're so cool.
Okay, yeah. What's up, mate? Welcome everybody.
Yeah.
We're doing this live. And immediately after City have advanced in the Champions League, we got past the quarterfinals, mate, with Guardiola. It's brilliant.
Yeah, maybe he's not shit after all.
Maybe this isn't a hoodoo, a jinx. Maybe we've broken it.
Whoa. From your lips to God's ears.
Mate, nothing got my heart racing. I mean, we'll get into all that, but my heart was racing because I don't like this competition. Typically, I only want it for the banter, right? I only want it out of spite, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
It was the Mahrez penalty. Ever since that moment until this moment, I have been heart just out of me chest, mate.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I told you before we went live, I'm exhausted. As I think your folks would say, I'm fucking knackered. Like I got
cream crackered.
I remember feeling, I don't know, with 15 or 20 minutes left, I felt like I'd run a marathon. I was so very tired and sleepy. And I didn't know if it's because I got stabbed by Big Pharma the other day or if it was because this match just took it out of me. But either way, good night. That was a lot to deal with. Okay, so we're going to talk the Dortmund game, yeah? That's the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about anything. We haven't prepared. We're just going live. We have invited some friends to join us, which should be fun. So they'll be dropping in throughout this. So how do you want to do it like a proper podcast or what? Yeah.
So before we bring them on, I'll go ahead and get the plugs out of the way. That way they don't steal any of our ad money, okay. And then we'll go through this thing for realsies. Okay. Meat Potatoes and Noisy Pod obviously is brought to you by Manscaped. The flowers are blooming, the grass is growing, and it's time to chop the weeds. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped, you can trim your holes safely and efficiently. I'm talking about your ball trimmers. Manscaped, the global leaders in men's below the waist grooming, have an exclusive offer for our audience. Use the code NOISYPOD to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Join the other 2 million men who trust Manscaped. They are here to make sure you are trimmed and smelling nice. After all, it's time for some spring cleaning. Spring has sprung. Manscaped has the best tools to get you ready. They're the global leaders in men's below the waist grooming and have forever changed the grooming game with their amazing products. They're here to help you with your above the waist holes too. You ever heard of the Weed Whacker? This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. This is the first time I think I've been able to say delicate holes on this show, which is pretty nice. Text conversations are, never mind. No more gross nose hairs flying in the wind. The premium Manscaped Weed Whacker uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. Manscaped is making whacking your weeds a time to look forward to, delivering maximum confidence while providing hygiene. Speaking of incredible hygiene, we have some formulations you can get to make sure your balls don't stank. Get you some anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. It's starting to get hot outside. This is crucial so your balls stop sticking to your legs. It's legit the worst thing ever. Yeah. Smell good, feel good this spring. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NOISYPOD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code NOISYPOD at manscaped.com. It's spring cleaning, baby, and your balls will thank you. All right. Vic, take it away.
I 'Cause 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 '
meat and potatoes.
Oh, Christ. All right. 2-1 again to City against Dortmund in the Champions League. City move on with a 4-2 victory on aggregate. And we decided we probably weren't the only ones feeling happy about this, nervous about this, and now very, very tired about this. So we reached all the way over to the Atlantic coast of the United States of America with both arms. And we've brought on one of the few Italians I'm friends with, Joe Ricci, and one of the nicer people I've ever met from England, John Ashley, from Main Road Ramble, quad screen.
We're having that.
We are having that.
Oh, we're just
there they are. Right, I just started pushing all the buttons.
Anyone else still with a little bit of the shakes? Just me?
Just you, mate. Just you.
Okay. This probably isn't good to do on video. I really am. Like, this kicked the piss out of me. Lineups, huh? Lineups happened.
Yeah, I mean, I had
over?
no complaints.
You guys haven't pulled up? I haven't done any. I ran upstairs.
Yeah. All right.
Set up my lighting. I have no idea.
Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko was the only change, I think, from the first leg. Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne in midfield, and then the false nine, Mahrez, Foden, Bernardo.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that comes out. We'll kind of go around the horn here. So we'll go to Mulv and then down to Joe and then over to John. Lineup comes out. How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. I think based on, performances over the last few weeks, that's probably our best. I would have liked Sterling. I know he's in a bit of a form drought, but I just like his pace. And I feel like Kevin has not been playing with particularly pacey wingers at the moment. It's sort of hampering his ability to destroy defenses. So other than that, I was comfortable with Zinchenko at left back, which was the only change from the last time we played Dortmund, only because Cancelo's been a bit off the boil and he's been a bit. The best word I can come up with for it is a bit sloppy, a bit lackadaisical. And I think it's Pep's playing his, no mistakes 11. So I think that's what we saw, and I was quite happy with it. John?
Yeah, I was happy with it. I was personally delighted to see Zinchenko back. I think he, along with if John Stones hadn't had his comeback this season, I think we'd have been talking a lot more about Zinchenko in terms of where he's come back from. If you think about after the Southampton game, even though it was, during Project Restart and he kind of set up their winner, you would not have had him down for starting a Champions League quarterfinal second leg where we had everything to play for 9 months later. So what a game he had as well. He's probably my man of the match. Foden obviously stole the show, but I think Zinchenko was fantastic today.
Joseph?
I think Mulv and John summed it up pretty well. I mean, ultimately it's no mistakes XI, but also the most clinical XI I think we have right now. I mean, I think people would say Aguero, but you kind of have to take him out of the situation with where he's at fitness wise. I think Sterling's in a bad run of form in front of goals. So to me, this is like, we're still not the most clinical team, although that was a clinical pour from Joey. But this was a great lineup choice, and we didn't have the Pep out team when the lineups came out, so that was nice.
Hey, brought to you by Manscaped.
I was going to say, maybe needs a bit of manscaping on that head.
What are you talking about, dude?
Hey, I'm going to dip out and bring another guest in, all right?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, all the way from Ramsbottom.
Shout out.
Yes. It's your mate and mine. It's Man City Smith, Walter Smith. Here he is.
Holy shit. Look at this.
We're having that. We're having
How
it.
you doing? You all right?
5 screen.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, pal.
Walter, thanks for staying up
As
late
long
on
as
a
you can
school
hear me,
night.
I'm all happy with that.
Walter, how do you feel?
School night. I'm on holiday.
Ooh, fancy boy.
Nice.
I was saying, I was honestly, I didn't blink for about 75 minutes. So I probably look like some kind of somebody should be going. You know, when you're just there staring at a screen because you couldn't take your eyes off it because everything was it was real high stakes, high tension.
Yeah.
And when I will get round to talking about it, Phil Foden. When he scored the second, you could just feel his whole relief sort of flowing through my body, realizing they had to score 3 times. Just what a night, what a game. I couldn't watch it, not drinking, so I'm having a couple of cheeky ones.
Is that a beer from Texas?
So, yeah, absolutely loved it. Hey. But just loved it. Just loved the idea of City in the semi-final. City dispatching, you know, I mean, let's get this right. Borussia Dortmund are a really good, decent team, you know. Yeah. Take them off the map tonight. We cancelled them in Europe.
Yeah. Dude, okay. So let's go through this whole thing. We'll go through it, I guess, event by event, but good Lord. So heading into it, I think we all feel pretty nervy. Yeah. It does not help that within 15 minutes, City are down 1-0. Jude Bellingham does a thing, and Ederson can't stop it. I don't know if anyone can stop it. John, that was a lot just then. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it on the channel, and like we were all blaming different people. But I think we landed on, in the end, allowing Bellingham to score with his third touch inside the box. Yeah, that was where it was criminal. You know,
right?
If you're there, 15 yards out, and you can take 3 touches, that's not Champions League level, and that's where you get punished, and that's what happened.
Right.
So I don't think Ederson could have done much about it. I initially criticized Ederson, but the shot was fiercer than it looked, even though it looked to be kind of innocuous. But yeah, it just felt, you know, like Groundhog Day at that point. I think it's just like, here we go again. That was kind of the big fear, was that we'd concede early and then not have the attacking impetus to go forward and come back from it. And it kind of looked that way for the rest of the first half.
Yeah. So let me tell you how I went through this thing. I had work this afternoon because I work in a job that I can't stay home for. So I got to I do inspections, right? So I get to the house early. I do the whole outside before the realtor shows up, just so I don't have to deal with. I'm trying to like eat as much time as possible. Then I find out like there's water shut off to the house. So I'm like, all right, dope. That means no plumbing. So I burn through this house, get done. I'm driving like 75 or 80 on the way home to get here. All of the highways up here, like you can't go over 55. It's Texas. It's like go 80, 90. No one gives a shit. Here, very, very slow. And it's like, it's nothing to do with the Amish even, because they live kind of far away. It's just everyone has to go slow. So I'm flying to get home. I pull into the driveway in the 17-minute mark, and I haven't checked my phone yet. Yeah, super pumped. So I park the truck, lift my phone up, and I have 2 like bubbles on there. One is from One Football, not a sponsor. That says goal 15 minutes, and I'm like, let's go. And I expanded it, and it says Dortmund. So then I just loudly screamed the fuck word in my truck as loud as I could. And then I have a group chat under that's just everyone typing the fuck word very big, super capital letters. So yeah, I'm with you, John. Like, talk about deja vu. You go into this thing and you're like, well, you know what? Maybe we'll be fine. We have a goal lead. I know they have an away goal, but we should be able to get one against these. And then I come home from work and it's like, It's Leon again. We're doing Leon again. This is the same exact. Been there, done that. I don't want to do this again. I hate every single part of it. Like you said, the rest of the first half was.
It felt
tantric.
like every single game that we've played in this competition and been eliminated in the last few years. It's like we hit the bar, we don't, the keeper pulls off a couple of saves, they clear 2 off the line. It's just felt like it just wasn't going to happen for us.
Yeah, it's all one-way traffic, and Dortmund's goal is leading a very charmed life for most of the rest of the first half. We'll go to Joe first, and then down to Walter. Going into halftime, how kind of spazzed out are you? Joe first.
I mean, I think I'm probably one of the more pessimistic of our group at Main Road Ramble, where like going into it, I was like, I think it's going to be 1-1, which obviously would have seen City through, but it's hard to have high expectations at this stage when we've seen what's happened over the past 3, 4, 5 years. So, and that's just me trying to be, real with myself. So I was more of the mindset of where are they going to come out in the first minute? Like, are they just going to try to ease back into the second half, or are they going to put, gas on the pedal and just and go for it? I wasn't expecting any subs because it's just not really Pep's motto to be doing that at halftime. And I think that's what everyone wants to say, like, oh, let's get, this guy out, that guy out. And it's not going to happen. So for me, it was more just like they need to come out up tempo, pressure Dortmund back, because clearly they were sitting back 10 behind the ball, not looking to really make anything except maybe an occasional counterattack. And it kind of played out that way for a good 15 to 20 minutes in the second half.
Walter, how'd you feel going into halftime?
He might be frozen.
Yeah, I think Walter might be frozen in time.
That's how he felt. He just
I have heard the internet in Ramsbottom isn't superb.
Oh, there he is.
Hey,
playing FIFA instead.
He's playing FIFA.
No, I'm turning off the PlayStation. Just to see
it's like halftime in the Dortmund game on FIFA.
Well, it's a strange one. It's do you watch? I've got a small telly with the BT, which is instant, and then I've got the PlayStation where it's a minute behind, maybe.
Right.
And I have to take off my watch and everything because I keep getting buzzed. Just before we score a goal on mine. So
we get it, Walter. Don't worry.
Yeah, we get it big time. Since NBC moved most of the Premier League games to a streaming service, if you have alerts set up for any of those, 3 minutes, you can be like, hello?
So it's brutal.
There should be a function on Twitter where it just puts you behind. Do you know, I want my function. I want to be 3 minutes behind the real world. Now that, I've just made millions, haven't I?
I think you have. You should sell that as an NFT.
Coming up, I don't even know what an NFT is, but I should do. I'm just thinking half time when it was coming up, I wasn't too nervous because City do score goals. I mean, people say, "Oh, what about Leeds and stuff?" But Pep is justified tonight by picking the team he did against Leeds. Would we have won that game tonight if we hadn't have put a B team, for want of a better saying, out against Leeds? And half time came up and I was like, oh, and the wife pops her head in, are you winning? And I'm like, no, we're not winning yet, blah, blah, blah. And it was just a case of just keep calm, keep watching. As I said, I was just relieved when it came to 45 minutes because then I could take my eyes for some kind of bath because honestly, I hadn't blinked. When you're like, so I took my eyes for a bath and came back and I felt strangely confident. Do you know what I mean? Just in terms of if we get one, they've got it's just that away goal. And we got another away goal. I mean, Dortmund ended up, let's be right about this. It's a bit of a hammering in terms of Dortmund needed 3 more goals.
Yeah.
So, it's once Foden has scored, it was like cigar and brandy time almost.
Somebody say cigars?
And well, I don't smoke cigars, I don't drink brandy, but you get you get where I'm coming from. And it was a case of just then you could relax and start to watch the game. And I don't know what the commentators were like in America, but oh my God, we've got to mention the BT commentators for the English people.
Yeah.
Who did you have?
They're just
Ian Dark and Jermaine.
Yeah. Oh, you had Ian Dark. We didn't have that.
We had Guy Mowbray and Andy Townsend, and they were great.
Pretty good, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, coming up to halftime, I was feeling not confident and I was still staring like a madman, but I did feel that we'd get the goals in the second half.
Okay, cool.
Go on.
What do you got, John? Is it gonna be about Leeds?
No, it's not about Leeds. I was gonna say
ask you about that later.
One thing, I think we needed halftime. Actually, in terms of we needed to get to halftime only a goal down, because I think where we've been burned in this competition previously is we've had bad 15 minutes where we've conceded 2 or 3 very quickly, and then
hello, hiya,
hello, hi.
Good night,
Walter, father of the year,
see you in a bit.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Shout out Big Walt.
Yeah. And so like the fact that we were a goal down, but we hadn't really conceded any more huge chances. It wasn't backs to the wall. We were able to come in and I think just consolidate and go back out and go, okay, this is what we got to do now. It's not like we have to reinvent the wheel and come up with 2 or 3 goals out of nowhere like we had done in previous years. Yeah. So I think that stood us in really good stead. It felt a lot more like the Real Madrid games than the Lyon or the Liverpool or Spurs games that we played in recent seasons.
Mm-hmm. So going to the second half, I think we all know what the plan is for both clubs. It's pretty straightforward, right? Dortmund are going to sit back and try to hold on to this. They have the advantage at this point. City are going to try to push and get a goal. 10 minutes after halftime, we have depending on what corners of the internet you visit, a very controversial or a nailed-on penalty. So this ball is off of Emre Can's head and arm, kind of, in this type of situation. Arm out by the head. VAR takes forever. That's correct, Mulv. It is a backwards dab because he instead of going like this, he went like this way, which is it's probably something else in Turkey. I don't know. So
or Germany.
I mean, yeah. As long as I don't upset the Algerians, I think I'm clear.
It's just bad.
Yeah. So VAR takes forever. We end up getting the penalty. Mahrez steps up. This is where we all need to talk about something. So it's a penalty, I think. To me, it was pretty clear. Mahrez, though, being the one to take it, was I the only one of all of us that watches it through my fingers like that and was actually physically nauseous?
I mean, if you've seen it, you're better than me.
I was gonna say earpods when I wasn't watching.
It was this, and I thought I was gonna be sick to my stomach. It felt like before a derby day, just for about 2.5 minutes, where I was gonna throw up.
The weirdest part was Kev being on this, like he had the ball in hand, ready to take the penalty when they initially called it, and then the refs talking about it with VAR, and they pan, and all of a sudden Mahrez has it in his hand. I was like, did Kev like? What just happened in that?
We never saw one of these.
Yeah.
The
whole thing. I need to know what happened with the conversation with Captain De Bruyne and Mahrez, because that if you said pick one player to have the least amount of confidence in, just based on history at City from the penalty spot, it's probably the guy who put it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
So
you know who you wouldn't pick? The dude whose most famous penalty is currently just about to catch up to Sputnik. Yeah.
For me, lads, never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Shut up. I don't buy that for a second.
Get
No,
out of here.
Mulder's very happy clappy on here, but in real life, he's a mess.
full disclosure, I didn't watch it. I couldn't. I put
No.
my head between my knees, and my son had to tell me whether it went in or not.
I went in a different room. I left the room and waited for the text to come through that it had gone in.
John's at his neighbor's house right now, actually. Still celebrating.
Couldn't lock myself out.
He just backed up the computer, the mic, and
Yeah.
running. He's like, I'm so sorry about this. I have to come over for a little bit. Walter, did you do okay with the penalty? Were you totally normal during it?
No, I did exactly what you did. I watched it just like this. You know, it was. I don't know if you remember it, the David O'Leary vibes when he took a penalty against Romania in the World Cup.
Yeah.
So
It's John years.
it was.
Whoa.
I've just shown my age there. It was one of those things where if you could pick someone, you weren't going to pick Mahrez. Do you know what I mean? He's a temperamental character, isn't he? He's the kind of player that will beat four, get in front of goal, do the hard work, and then miss the shot. So when he's got just the shot to complete, the nerves were kicking in.
Yeah, that was brutal. One of the toughest things that we've had to watch or not watch, depending on kind of what you're dealing with, I suppose. Anyway, Mahrez finishes it. Goalkeeper guesses right. Still nervy. Just happy to see the
Pretty
ball.
tidy
going back
finish,
in net.
though.
Hey, I like that he went with. I will say I like that he went with power instead of placement because he hit it.
He knows power. We know that.
Well, he hit it with his weaker foot too, which I was slightly worried about. To try to score a penalty with your left foot when you are actually right-footed, and the media has been pushing a false narrative for however old Mahrez is a bold move. 20 minutes pass.
Hold up. Have we given Riyad Mahrez enough credit for this? I mean, this took massive.
It's a hell of a finish. Giant
massive
ball.
balls in this size of a game for him to have, again, like you guys said, his most famous penalty hasn't landed yet.
Is
And
this
he
where you plugged
decided
Manscaped?
I was actually you stole it from me. I was going to, but Joey did the read today. If I'd have done it, he would have been in there. Yeah, but his last penalty was awful, and he's been trolled for it ever since.
Yeah.
I will say he was going to take the penalty that was eventually rescinded at the Etihad against Dortmund as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if De Bruyne was like, no, I'm going to take this. And then Mahrez was like, no, Pep said, I'm going to take it. But I'm happy that it was scored. I had no confidence that it was going to be a goal. I thought there's no chance. We're going to miss it. That's what we do in these games.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to come in and just, he gets a lot of stick, Mahrez, and I just wanted to go on record as saying that took a lot of balls to finish that off. Take it even. So carry on, lads.
I would have mentioned the Mahrez thing in the Manscaped read, but all my offshore money isn't stored in Algeria. It's actually in the Caribbean. I think that's where my alleged betting website is based. So pretty sure that's where it's at. So at this point, it's all evens. City knocked the ball around for about 20 minutes. They're kind of probing. Dortmund haven't really come out of their shell yet. And then I believe this is off of a corner, and it just kind of gets pinged around. And then Phil Foden does something that, one, you're not supposed to do, and two, sends probably all of City fandom into absolute limbs.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies everywhere, social distancing being destroyed because we're just all, suplexing everybody else, high fives all around. And City go up 2-1 in this. Phil Foden near post. How between halftime and when Phil Foden goes in, how good does that Phil Foden goal feel, Walter? As a man from the area, I'll go to the two locals first.
Well, it's one of them where, honestly, as I said numerous times, I hadn't blinked for 75 minutes, and to have just that amount of pressure just taken away, it was just phenomenal. You know, and then what I loved was, did you see his celebration when he went up to Pep? And Pep was just, it was almost like a father-son moment.
We're having that. We're having it.
Hey, and it was, I've heard that before. It's like a father-son moment. You know, you're just there. You're just looking at it and you're just thinking, this is perfect. I couldn't. If you had to choose a player to score, it's Foden. You know, he got the goal right at the end of the last game. He gets this goal, it just takes the pressure off completely. I mean, let's get this right. If Haaland's 100 million, what is Foden?
1 billion.
Priceless.
Well,
price.
actually,
Well, no one's
according
got enough money on
to
earth to
Walter,
give away.
Walter, if I may, for a second, and please forgive me for this. According to some members of the, how do I gotta do this?
Members plural?
Member, sorry. According to one of the hosts of the Main Road Ramble, who has consistently dodged the Noise Neighbors podcast, Phil Foden does have a price, and he could be sold. Joseph, Jonathan,
we cannot speak for.
They won't grass. They won't grass.
No.
They're good lads. They won't grass him out.
This person plays a pivotal role in what we do. I will not throw said person under the bus.
he's big for charity. That's for
Speaking
sure.
of buses, you see what happened in Liverpool?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to talk about that. I didn't know where to bring it up though. So I want to. It's a story that comes up a lot, and I'm getting pretty sick of it. And I just wish the media would cover it fairly, because it seems like if it happens this often, there needs to be more and more coverage of it. And I'm sick and damn tired of these buses going into Liverpool thinking they own the place. They're just rolling around, flaunting their shit, thinking they're cool, and expecting not to get slapped. You know? And you break a little window, you throw a little bottle, all of a sudden everyone's a bad guy. I don't get it. You know, I think Liverpool are probably the victims in all this once again.
I'm tired of these Everton fans dressing up as Liverpool fans and throwing bottles at buses. That's what I'm upset about.
I've never seen the guy off Men in Blazers throw one bottle. They'll be the next to block us, I think. Add them to the Arlo white list.
Yeah, jokes on Liverpool fans, though, because they decided they needed to make sure the bus was all right. So Real Madrid decided to just park it on the pitch instead, and Liverpool couldn't get past it.
Zinedine Zidane, one of the best attacking midfielders of all time, is like, yo, we're parking a bus. Come at us. So after the John, Foden goal, how we feeling?
Yeah, I think I was after the Mahrez goal. I was frustrated that City weren't going for the jugular a bit more. I thought that the Dortmund pressure was going to come, and we were kind of playing into their hands a little, because they were clearly going to do it in the last 15, 20 minutes, so that City then wouldn't have a chance to counter their counter, if that makes sense. So there's been a lot of talk about how City don't really score from corners. A lot of talk during the game about we shouldn't be doing these short corners, and then we score from a short corner. As it got from a goalkeeping perspective, I think the keeper will be disappointed. He was unsighted by Agent Erling. I get that, but he near post, good savable height. But yeah. I mean, just if you're going to, as Walter said, if you're going to pick someone to score a goal that takes you to a Champions League semi-final, it's going to be the local lad, the guy who keeps the Manchester and City, you know.
So, Mulv, how are we doing? Do you want to break right now, or do you want to wrap this up?
Not really. If anybody needs to hop off because they have things to do, that's fine.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You guys do?
I do. I have.
Okay.
I got to make dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, whatever.
So big
John,
thanks.
Thank you so much.
Big thanks to John.
Absolutely, my
Main
pleasure.
Road Ramble. Go listen to Main Road Ramble, damn it. Thank you, Jonathan. Stay blessed.
You're
Ta-ra,
very
pal.
welcome, Joseph. Ta-ra.
All right.
Now the old ball and chain's gone. So, so when the Foden goal goes in, City are up 4-2 on aggregate, 2-1 during the match. Are the nerves gone for everybody, or is anyone else thinking? Is anyone else still, I don't know, damaged from the past that something will come back and get us? Mulv?
So my nerves weren't gone. I mean, sorry, my nerves were gone, but my heart rate didn't slow down.
True.
Like
yeah,
it just
yeah,
kept
yeah.
like just until I jumped on this live chat with you guys. They really haven't. My heart rate hadn't really stopped. I mean,
I think I'm just slowing down, and it's the two 7.5% beers.
You should have seen the
need a bit of a depressant in you.
The panic behind the scenes. Me and Joey setting up because we didn't give ourselves that much time to for the final whistle to kicking off. We were just. I mean, hearts were pounding. We were running around trying to get invites to you guys. It was madness.
I saw a Mulv on this screen over here, and I hit my mute button so it opened my mic back up, and I'm setting up another lighting fixture over here, and I'm just like, I'm getting set up. I just ran over, muted it again, like plugged that one in, plug this one in. Had to move my mic all the way around the desk because I can't go it this way because I would set up. Oh, and even when I got on for the first like 5 or 10 minutes, I still feel like I could throw up pretty easily. Like we could turn this into a Jackass movie. Like, just replay the Mahrez penalty. I promise you, we could get it's 1 million hits. Just like man throws up on soccer show. Easy money. American man throws up on soccer show. American man throws up at Man City show. Boom.
Shit, Ted Lasso throws up on soccer show.
Soccer in there, Joey. Come on.
I didn't deserve that. You know that. Ted Lasso stole all of this. Also, you'll notice Allison lost the old caterpillar. You know what I mean? Wasn't man enough to handle it.
Yep.
Takes a big man to drive this thing around, dude.
I thought he fitted in really well in Liverpool.
Yeah. Calm down,
like. So
right,
nerves aren't gone. City closed the thing out kind of just by passing the ball around, which is nice. Maybe 1 or 2 chances for Dortmund. On to the next one. Mulv, what were you going to say?
I have a question for everybody. All 3 of you, plus the chat. My question is, have City sort of got away with one here? In that, my feeling is we didn't really play our best. Over both legs, I thought we had just enough sort of thing. And, obviously there's the big shout in the first match over the Bellingham goal that was disallowed. So I'm just wondering, did we scrape by here? Is that everybody's sort of feeling? And how much better are we going to need to be in the next round? Who wants it?
I feel like at this stage of the competition, all you need to do is kind of scrape by. Like PSG scraped by Bayern Munich.
Facts.
Like Bayern should have probably handily won the first leg and won the second leg. So to me, it's like City probably should have beat Spurs. You know what I mean? Like it kind of keeps going.
That's my internet friend. Shout out him.
Oh my God. With the PSG logo.
He actually is a PSG fan. He's here from something else. He is he legit is happy that we're playing each other because it is a giant middle finger to all of UEFA.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's no scraping by at this point. It's just you do what you have to do to win, and for once it fell in City's favor. And I mean, like I said, PSG probably don't deserve to be there, but they're there. So you just kind of have to carry on and do enough to get by, is my feeling at this point.
What do you think, Walter?
I don't think we scraped. I mean, they needed 3 more goals. So if they needed 3 more goals, how's that? A scrape by. Yeah, we were fortunate with some of the decisions in the first leg, and that's the way football goes. I mean, we've been unfortunate with decisions in the past. We went to Anfield, and I think it was 3-0, but I'm sure one of their goals was offside, and we had a goal, or we have a goal? We should have had a penalty in that game as well.
Yep.
So it is what it is. I really don't care. We've all got a semi, and we're all happy about it.
I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
We've all got a semi.
Yeah.
Joey, what's your reaction, mate?
I think I'm a mixed bag of kind of what all you guys said. So at the end of the day, this is a Dortmund side that might not get into Champions League next year, that has a interim manager, and their manager is currently the manager of the team that we beat to play Dortmund. So it's a weird thing of like, we squeaked by. Is it squeaked or squoke? Probably squeaked. We squeaked by a team that that is struggling in the domestic league as it is. End of the day, it's on to the next one. I really don't care if it was ugly or pretty. I think we have just as good a shot against PSG's defense as any other team in Europe. I think Pep versus Pochettino is an interesting thing when Pochettino has good players, and we saw that a few times against Spurs when Poch was still there. I think this tie between PSG and City is going to be the most attractive tie left in the entire tournament, because the final certainly won't play out the way that the semi does. So I'm excited for it. I really don't care if we squeaked by. I think, I don't know. We got out of it what we put into it. We went into both legs with no striker. We went into both legs with still trying to fend off a bunch of teams in the Premier League and hold on to the lead that we have. So, you know what? At the end of the day, I'll take it. I'm not going to complain too much. And we only had to use one substitution, and that was really just to kill time. So, whatever.
Yeah. I was surprised there weren't more substitutions after Foden's goal, to be fair. I thought Kevin should have probably been rested, but
right.
He's a
you
madman.
could see how tired the players were after that second goal.
Yeah.
It seemed like Walker, Kev, Gundogan, everyone was just like hand on knees, just gassed.
I wanted to ask you guys. I wish John wouldn't have had to hop off, because I know his answer would be different. And I suspect Mulv and Walter will have an answer similar to John, because this is the I don't know if it's generational or geographical or both difference between the fans. So this kind of works out pretty good because we have a 50-50 split here. So I
don't know. We got three Irish and one Italian. So
I'm half Irish, so.
Oh, okay. Full Irish then.
Forever unclean. We have to. I almost said a joke there that would get us kicked off the air so fast. Oh, okay. Anyway,
the show hangs by a thread every week, mate.
It does. So does the has Pep justified resting so many players and rotating so much against Leeds because we got this result away in Dortmund? And we'll go to Walter first, and then to Joe, and then to Mulv.
I've already mentioned it. Of course he does. At the end of the day, Pepe's goal is to win as many trophies as possible. And he's got a limited set of resources, unless you speak to certain members of the British press. And he's got these resources, and he's got to manage them in order to move forward. We're 8 points ahead, or we're 11 points ahead, really, in the Premier League. And let's get this right. If De Bruyne had got injured against Leeds, can you imagine? Just take a moment to sit there and imagine what City Twitter would have been like. It would have just gone off all over the place. If Foden had got injured, or pretty much any first team player that was playing, So, yeah, the Leeds result, it was one of them where it made you fed up, but more an irritant than gutted, if you know what I mean. If we'd have lost tonight, this would have been very different. And it justified it to me because I was watching the Paris Saint-Germain Bayern Munich game last night, and they were going to hell for leather at each other. And I just thought, hang on a minute, if that's how they're performing there, surely we want our players, because we're playing twice a week, every single week, sometimes more with the international duties. So, Pep, right, the result was a bummer, but the overall grand scheme of things, I mean, anytime City draw on Twitter, there's just a meltdown. I mean, what I did on Saturday is I watched the game and then went with the family to the park and had me phone in my wife's back. I just thought, I ain't touching Twitter. There's no point, because the amount of negativity that would be coming out of it is just ridiculous. You know, it's the problem with Twitter is it's given everybody an opinion, and their opinion looks just as valid as the next person. We used to go to people and see their opinion, or talk to people in the boozer afterwards, after you watched a game, and you know, there's certain people's opinions you took validation in, I suppose. And the fact that there was an idiot there, you could quite easily ignore, but because of Twitter, the idiot is just slapping you in the face 10
it's the same thing with podcasts, mate.
So, there's idiots on podcasts, I've heard. Idiots.
At two, Brute?
But we won't go there. But you know what I'm saying in terms of, with podcasts, you can choose what you want to listen to, but you can't overly choose what's retweeted, what's coming at you on your timeline.
Yeah.
So just the idea of, me personally, I think Pep got it absolutely right. Yeah, it was an annoyance that we lost, but it wouldn't have been the gutter it would have been tonight.
Before we go to you, Joe. Actually, no, never mind. We'll just keep rolling. Joe, go for it. Sorry, I had a thought there, and then it was going to derail the whole thing. So never mind. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, I pretty much agree with Walter. I think the only
I am
thing
an idiot, so it should be should be out
just
there.
Just tweet it instead.
True.
Big caps, all caps. No, but I mean, I pretty much agree with Walter, and I think the Leeds thing kind of got overblown just because of, you know, the goal coming in the last minute and the fact that City created more chances. Like, if you want to look at it in an optimistic view, besides the players being rested, like Torres got back on the score sheet, Zinchenko got pivotal minutes, having not been in the side for a few games. It was a chance for Sterling to get back into good form. Didn't really pan out that way, but he needed the minutes. Like, everybody just wants to overreact because City lose once every 15 games at this point under Pep.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it out loud and it sounds ridiculous. Like, they lose once every double-digit game. So I think people just need to take a step back and understand that he's not throwing the league by putting in a weaker lineup. He's prioritizing the chance to do something no one in England's ever done. So there's too many people that have the chance to have their voices heard that maybe shouldn't, I guess, is the overall thoughts that I have on that.
That's Twitter in a nutshell, I think.
Yes.
Mulv?
Okay, so I've got I love this question, by the way, because this is a question that divided the fan base, or an issue that divided the fan base.
Down in the handy dandy notebook, dude. You know how I get.
All week, people have been going back and forth, telling each other how to think about this. And it's interesting that you position it as perhaps a generational or geographical or that kind of thing, because for me, it's really not. And because I'll tell you this, I had a call from somebody that you know very well, a Manc, a City fan for 40 plus years, who was absolutely livid
from a nightmare part of Manchester too.
Yeah,
did you do an impression?
He was absolutely livid that we played a B team when the league has not been sewn up yet, and it's because his worst fear in life is losing an 8-point lead to Manchester United to throw away the Premier League title, right?
Yeah.
So that's his perspective, right? And the key in this discussion is perspective. What is your perspective? If you don't think the league is wrapped up and your worst fear in life is losing it to Man United on the last day, then you're going to be irate that he played a B team. You throw into that mix the fact that he doesn't really rate the Champions League, a bit like me, in that just wants it out of spite, doesn't want it for the glory or anything like that. Just wants to shut a few rags up. So it all depends on your perspective, and everybody's different. I don't think it's generational or geographical. It's just what are your fears, what are your dreams, what outweighs the other, and is what it is. For me personally, I didn't care about the game at all, the Leeds game. I really didn't. I thought Pep did the right thing, resting for the Champions League. His cushion is in the Premier League. Highly doubtful that we're going to toss that away. So, I thought he did the right thing, and that's that. But yeah, I respect everybody's opinion on what happened at Leeds, because everybody comes from a different perspective,
Yeah. So I'll tell you why I asked that. Now that this match is over, I am very, very numb to the Leeds result. It seems justified to me. It seems like points we were safe to drop, if that makes any sense. Now, at the end of the season, if we crash out of both, then I'll be furious. But right now, an hour removed from the end of a victory over Dortmund away in the Champions League, I'm very numb to a loss against Leeds. Abu Darby. Hell yeah. The other reason I asked that is because there's been a lot of stuff both on Twitter, or not both, but kind of across everything, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, about whether or not people really care if we win the Champions League. And there is a trend out there, I think, that kind of align with you a little bit, Mauve, like they'd like it out of spite, or they don't care at all. And most of the people that don't care at all are older than me and from the UK.
Yeah, I find that too.
And then the people that do want the Champions League are younger than me, but from both the UK and abroad.
Yeah. Not universally, but
right. But just there's a trend there.
Generally, yeah.
You could map it.
Yep.
Like if you mapped it like if you became a fan, obviously if you became a fan after 2012, you know what I mean? Those people are clearly like, yes, 100% we should win the Champions League. But even if you became a fan between when I became a fan at the Gillingham game and like 2010, 2011, there's even a weird kind of break there somewhere. So the reason I asked that was because it's interesting to see who. I'm trying to word this to not be a prick about it. I feel like if you're
be the prick, Joey. Come on.
So here's the deal. I feel like if you don't want the club to go on and win the Champions League, then you are kind of participating in holding the club back. Because at the end of the day, do you want I mean, one of our most famous songs is Best Team in the Land and All the World, and you can't claim that unless we are. And you can't just say it.
The thing about that song is it was sung ironically.
It was sung ironically. It was sung ironically. But now it's not. No one. We weren't singing it when we had 100 points in the table because it was ironic to be the best team in the land and all the world. Am I frozen? I probably am.
Yeah, you are, mate. But it's cool. We can hear you great.
I'll keep yapping. So my thing is, I feel like we need to. A corner has to get turned at some point, or maybe it doesn't. Where the club and the fans have to decide: do we want to be this kind of worldwide dominant presence that crushes every team in Europe and all that kind of thing, or are we just content with winning the Premier League every year and crashing out? I mean, I know it sounds very spoiled, or crashing out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And personally, I'm a big fan of keeping the thing moving forward if we're being successful, and I don't see why we should kind of nip our success at the bud because we don't like UEFA.
Yeah. No, I think as long as what matters more than what the fans think, mate, is what the owners think and what the hierarchy at City think. And they all want the Champions League. We know that. They want everything. They want everything. What a bloke from Disbury, whether he cares about the us winning the Champions League or not, it's really not. It's not neither here nor there. It's what does the hierarchy want? They want it. They're with you, mate. So nothing to worry about there. There's not a large enough set of fans that don't like that don't like the Champions League that's going to affect City one way or the other, I think. So looks like he dropped out, but he'll be back shortly, I'm sure. So PSG, lads. Let's wrap this up talking about the next round, or do you want to talk about the FA Cup? Should we keep this Champions League centric? Yeah, let's do that. All right, PSG. When will that be, lads?
I think I saw the PSG play first. The first leg, April 27th. So what's today? 2 weeks?
So it's 2 weeks.
Just under 2 weeks. Yeah. And that'll be in Paris, and then May 4th is the return leg in Manchester.
And then the other side is Madrid and Chelsea. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who's coming out of that side? Walter.
Historically, it's got to be Real Madrid, hasn't it? Maybe laugh. I was honestly, I was listening to a podcast. It was like an Irish podcast, but it's like a national thing. So it's a national radio station, and a guy was putting forward a serious argument that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a better manager than Zidane. Do you know when you think? And he starts saying that it was the players that did it. It was the players that did it for Zidane. I thought, you can never, ever, ever come out with that kind of argument. I was just, when you kind of tuning in and out of a podcast, and I just remember hearing that thing and just laughing. Zidane has got them motoring, and Zidane's a cute cookie. To be honest, I'd rather play Madrid in the final than Chelsea, because it gives it, number one, we're shy against English teams in Europe, but I was saying this, I thought we were going to be called Manchester City Champions League quarterfinal FC, but we disproved everyone tonight. And it's this idea of, I want to keep away from the English teams, not because I think we may lose against them, but it's more suave, isn't it? So I'm thinking Real Madrid. Real Madrid have got maybe too much for Chelsea. That's what I'm hoping anyway. But Champions League is such on a fine wire. One player gets sent off for a dodgy tackle, or if, it's like with us, that goal got disallowed and then we got the penalty. So it's all fine lines and fine margins. That's why it's very rare, I think, that the best team in Europe actually wins the Champions League. So, to sum it all up, Real Madrid I want.
It's probably why Arsenal haven't won it. The best team doesn't always win the Champions League. What are you saying, Joe? Who's coming out of the other side? Is it going to be Chelsea or Real Madrid?
I think it's really difficult because Chelsea right now are obviously fighting for that Champions League position domestically, and Real are now in the thick of a very tight La Liga race. So both sides are going to be having interests that are lying elsewhere at the time of playing each other. I'd probably go with Real Madrid only based on they're more of a known commodity than this current Chelsea side. They have the players, basically their entire 11 is all filled with Champions League winners. So Chelsea could beat anybody left in the competition and easily lose to any team left in the competition. They're just that like uncertain at this point. And I think just because of that uncertainty, I'd probably go with Real Madrid. But it'll be good. It'll be a fascinating. I mean, two very interesting coaches, and it's going to be probably the exact opposite of what PSG and City are going to offer on the other side of the bracket.
Joey, everybody's discussing Chelsea or Madrid to come out of the other side. The chat is heavily in favor of Madrid. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm with that. I think Chelsea. They're 3 or 4 years away from being where they want to be. I think sacking the manager that was supposed to be the guy going forward in the first 6 months, that'll knock you back a little bit. His big name signing is a 36-year-old center back. That'll knock you back a bit. There's some stuff there that they have to turn over. What does that mean?
It's a green screen.
I mean, my house is I married my bartender. There is just booze everywhere in the house. I think Real Madrid takes it. I don't think it's a particularly fascinating matchup. I think Tuchel will continue with his 3/5 at the back setup. They'll try to counter quick. They'll try to get it to Timo Werner or whatever. And, Zidane will just probably crush him. JP, it's been a long time, bud. He's gone. He's not coming back. He's just not going to come back.
All right, let's switch gears to our tie then.
Go on now. City
and PSG. You're already taking flack from the trolls in the chat about, El Clasico, Abu Dhabi, Money Derby.
I like how the trolls are our actual fans. I think one of them was a guy that runs an OC.
Are we a City in the same form as they've been earlier in the season? I think we've dipped a bit, and I think we're missing a little bit of Gundogan magic, and that thing that Cancelo brought to us for so many weeks. When maybe Kevin was a bit off the boil. Now Kevin is kind of coming back into form. Maybe that's the key, that he can carry us further in these competitions. But will we need to improve to beat PSG? What are you saying, Walter?
Well, I thought it was quite interesting because if there's one team that's similar to Manchester City in the way that they play, in the way that they set up, it's got to be Bayern Munich, hasn't it? Except for they've got a forward that normally scores a gazillion goals a year. So I was watching the games. I was watching the devastation of Mbappe and Neymar when they broke. So it's going to be a very much the two ties are going to look like the two ties against Bayern Munich, I believe, because they were missing Lewandowski and we haven't got one of them. So I think it's going to be very much set up the same. But Bayern should have won that first game, honestly. You were just looking at it. I was watching the game, and I'd rather play Paris Saint-Germain than Bayern Munich in the semis with Lewandowski. I know that Germain had a few players out with the old Rona, didn't they? So they'll be back to play when they play against City. But yeah, we'll take him, won't we?
All right. Come on. Joe, what are you saying?
You really should have had Walter go last. He's our dose of optimism. I'm such a pessimist in this competition, to be honest with you. I want to win it. I think that PSG's defense is there to be had. It's just a matter of, like you said, Mo, of like where's the attack going to be at that point? Because I do think they fizzled out, and that a lot of players who were on form are now just kind of like in the middle, right? No one's really carrying the team. Yep. But I do think that's also reflective of the fact that City are going to every game knowing it's basically a final at this point. So fighting in 4 competitions, right? They're still trying to balance everything. So I don't think they're trying to put all their eggs in one basket, which is making it difficult to see those 3-1, 4-0 performances that we'd like to see match in and match out.
Yeah.
So with all that said, and I'm like the biggest fence sitter of all time, I think City are going to go through. Very, very
Oh dear. Joey.
I'm very excited we got PSG.
Okay.
I said a few weeks ago that I thought Bayern was the scariest team left in the group, or left in the bunch. I have also been on record as saying that Neymar is one of the most is the David De Gea of outfield players when it comes to overrated players.
I like it.
Neymar does a lot of dancing. He also does a lot of laying on the ground and rolling on the ground. I think if Neymar really wanted to keep his star bright, he would have found a way to fight his way through at Barcelona and not gone to a league full of, Strasbourgs and
none of this will backfire, surely.
Reims.
No, it's all good.
Rennes.
Got my fingers crossed.
Just a bunch of teams that are like crap. Really, look. The
Leon's
best players in the world, they sure are, and they're not in the Champions League still. No one goes to France to become one of the best players in the world these days. It's just not the case. So, I'm happy we got PSG. I feel pretty confident about it. I want Zinchenko and Cancelo on both legs. A striker would be dope, but I'm not gonna,
Haaland next year.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be cool if Aguero was healthy, but I don't see us using a striker. I think Pep's going to stick with a false 9 in Europe. But yeah, happy for PSG, and I do think we go through. I think I'm frozen again. My bad.
I like a bit of Neymar.
You would though. You're a big YouTube highlights guy. Mulv is a big scout players based off of. So it's picture the YouTube video here. There's the beginning of the title is a star, and then it says "Welcome to insert a club," and at the end of that there's a star. And there's the player name, and it says like skills, tricks, and goals, and then insert like a season year thing with a slash in it. And then when you start it up, it's like positives behind all this. EDM music, but not any that you would ever listen to. It's from like Albania. It's very abrasive.
Right there, man.
It's not very good.
It's copyright free, is what it is.
100%. That's because the guy that made it on a drum kit, like a drum machine on his computer, and then it's like positives, tricky, balance, goals, pass, and then negatives, none.
Samaras.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And then it's just 20 minutes of a player hitting step overs and like 5 good goals over the space of 38 games. And Mulv's like, we should sign him, huh?
All right. Joey, you've gone into mannequin mode again.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna give this to our guests. All right. We're gonna end with a bang. All 4 trophies are still on offer for Manchester City. I want you to hold up with your hand, with fingers. We'll let Joe go first. How many are City going to bring home this season?
Is this still recording?
Yeah. Three. Okay. 3.
So I don't have to say which ones, right? You just asked for a number?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you've got the Premier League in there.
Yes.
Okay.
I wrote in the Carabao before the season started.
Okay, so it's Champs or FA Cup.
I don't know which one. I just think they'll win one of the two.
Okay. Well, that would be. I mean, that's a treble. I mean, that's you know.
We're having that. Oh,
We're having a treble anytime we can get our hands on it. How about you, Man City Smith?
Wait for
2.
it.
Let's go.
The four.
Oh,
It's never
that's
been
great.
done before, but
That is
it's one
great.
team to do it.
We're having that. We're having it.
All right. Fantastic. Well, I'm not sure if Joey's going to be back on the show or not. Yes, Vic, we're levitating. But what I would like to do is to thank both of my guests, Joe Ricci of Main Road Ramble. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks,
Walter Smith of Ramsbottom Ramble. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Yeah, I hope to maybe make this a thing after the Champions League matches. We can jump on. The man is back. We'll let him sign off for real. He is the front man. There he is.
No pressure. Is
Take
this
us
thing
home.
on?
Take
Jesus
us home,
Christ.
brother. Take us home.
Christ on a pony. My bad for my computer. If you haven't already, like this video, please. So, I see how many people are watching. There's not that many likes on the YouTube video. So like it if you're watching. It takes, half a second. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us or subscribe on YouTube. Click the bell. Follow us on Twitter at NoisyPod. Go to noisypod.com if you want to get any swag. Our store is up over there. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/noisypod. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us out. And we appreciate every single dollar you guys send us. You can email us at noiseneighborspod@gmail.com. Has Joe plugged his bits yet? Joe,
You guys, it's your show. End it with your stuff.
No, Joe, where can people find you and all of your things?
Well, you don't need to find me because I don't contribute a whole lot, but I'm a part of a podcast that does Main Road Ramble. Find us on Twitter at Main Road Ramble. Our website's mainroadramble.com. And we're big noisy fans, so definitely support them on Patreon. There you go. Signed off with you guys.
What about your you write stuff sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah, on our website.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to plug your shit, dude. Come on.
I appreciate it.
Walter, you've got your Twitter handle there, Man City Smith on Twitter. You got anything else going on you want to plug? Come see Walter at the local elementary school.
Podcast for a guest appearance.
Well, we'd love to have you on.
I want to do that.
Let's go. Get on a proper show, Walter.
Yo. Synergy. Look at us. Bringing everybody together. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on this thing. I know it's kind of impromptu, and I'm sure we all have other things to do. I appreciate the hell out of everyone that listened and watched. Joe, Walter, John, if he was still here, thank you so much for coming on. Whew. City are on to the semifinal of the Champions League, and we're still top of the Premier League, and we still have the Carabao Cup final to go to, and we still have the FA Cup in the balance. Whew. Until next time, everybody.
And a final.
Until next time, everybody. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
I got you, moonlight.